Yo guys, I'm472 here, and I have a pretty special video for you guys. Today, I am back with my good friend Jared, or TheGamersJoint if you prefer, to talk and have a discussion about the mysterious new Organization 13. Ever since we got the new Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers around E3 time, more members have been confirmed, but sitting down with Jared and thinking about it, what are really their intentions and roles going to be? This is basically part 2, so if you haven't seen part 1 with the rest of the confirmed organization members, head over to Jared's channel right now and watch that nice video. I'll link it in the description. Without further ado though, let's start with a person I think we are all very interested in. Let's talk about Vanitas. The dark half of Ventus personified thanks to Xehanort. Vanitas is a being of pure negative emotions. For the entirety of Birth by Sleep, he spent his time trying to split up the three friends and get Ventus to leave his home in order to get him stronger so that eventually he could be strong enough to forge the Keyblade. Pretty simple character on the outside, right? Just seems to be following Xehanort's plans to a T, and with the Monsters Inc. KH3 trailer that we got, it just seems he's going after Ven's heart so that he can yet again forge the Keyblade, but what if I told you there was potentially more to Vanitas than meets the eye? I believe Vanitas has a much bigger role than what we originally thought. If you didn't know, there's an extra chapter found in the Birth by Sleep novels. It was written by one of the series' scenario writers, Tomoe Kanamaki. There are hints of this extra chapter being canon to the series, which are found in the game, but it has yet to be actually confirmed, so make sure not to take it for 100% truth. The chapter is titled Dark Memory, and it talks about some events 4 years prior to the events of Birth by Sleep. It goes in detail about what Xehanort and Ventus were up to. I will leave a link to the full chapter translated down in the description if you wish to read it, but to put it simply, after Ventus was dropped off to stay with Ericus in order to keep Vanitas away from Ventus for specific reasons, Vanitas began to miss Ventus greatly. It causes him to feel miserable and immense pain. He also feels very lost and anxious, which causes him to be more irritated and produce more and more Unversed. Vanitas starts to destroy the Unversed, but as we know, Unversed are his negative emotions, and once defeated go right back into Vanitas, so basically it's an endless cycle of pain and suffering for him, until eventually Xehanort walked up to a crying Vanitas and told him the only way to stop this pain is to become the Keyblade. So he agrees to Xehanort's plan and becomes his apprentice. I believe that, assuming the novel chapter is canon, not only does Vanitas want to stop his suffering, but is also being led to believe that if he does this, and that, it will just stop and he can go on living as a normal person. Going through immense pain, I wouldn't be surprised if Xehanort himself is spoon-feeding Vanitas everything he wants to hear just so he can achieve his own plan, much like how he did with Terra. Before reading this chapter, I did enjoy the fact that Vanitas was back. I was just confused on what his role really was besides being an obvious choice for being a darkness, but going back and forth between Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers, Vanitas wants Ventus back, while the others, excluding a couple we know of, are really gunning trying to get Roxas back, so now it's really a myriad of possibilities for what Vanitas' role could really be.
The original organization's 10th member, Luxord, known as the gambler of the group and manipulator of time. Luxord first comes into contact with Sora during Kingdom Hearts 2. He appears in Port Royal during the second visit. Luxord's task is to assess if the Heartless are worthy of serving Organization 13, driven by the Cursed Medallions. Luxord casts forth the Grim Reaper Heartless to take care of Sora, but in the end Sora was successful in defeating it. Shortly afterwards, Luxord agrees to the Pirate's Code Parley, before quickly scattering 4 medallions from the cursed chest with the use of the Nobodies. After Sora and the gang collects the missing medallions, they then head back into Port Royal to be confronted by Luxord once again, this time summoning an even stronger Heartless. Sora and Co defeat the Dark Beam before Luxord escapes into a corridor of darkness, congratulating Sora, referring to him successfully defeating the Heartless, and its heart no doubt consumed by Xemnas' Kingdom Hearts. Sora eventually makes his way to the organization's homeworld, the world that never was, and comes into contact with Luxord once again while making his way to Xemnas. The remaining members' task now was to eliminate Sora and his friends, as their purpose had been fulfilled, to defeat Heartless and have their hearts consumed by the artificial Kingdom Hearts. Luxord challenges Sora, but in the end Sora was able to cut Luxord down and bypass his tricks. Because Luxord had been defeated, he was resurrected as a human, but became a vessel now serving as one of the true Seekers of Darkness. Luxord is one of the organization members who hasn't had much screen time throughout the series, as his role is mainly played out in Kingdom Hearts 2. The reasoning as to why Xehanort decided Luxord was fit for being a vessel is unknown, but perhaps it comes down to Luxord's abilities of time manipulation and how he seems to be one of the more calm and reserved, yet confident members out of the original 13. In Kingdom Hearts 3, Luxord is positioned yet again in Port Royal, this time with a more important goal in mind, searching for a box. This is likely to be the mysterious black box from the Master of Masters, the box that Luxu was ordered to take with him on his journey for the Master. We also know that Maleficent is on the search for a box as well, going around the worlds asking if anyone has seen it. We still don't know what the contents of the box is, however Xehanort is obviously interested in getting his hands on it, so does it play a part in his grand plan of things?
Shooter of the organization, Xigbar. Back when he was known as Braig, and this was also said and confirmed by him that he has always had plans of his own. He went along with Xehanort to try and tempt Terra to use his darkness so that when they later fought in the Keyblade Graveyard, it would be easier for Terra to tap into that power. In later games such as Days, KH2, and Dream Drop Distance, it still seemed as if he was making sure to follow Xehanort's plans to the letter. There are even moments where if the plans seem to be in jeopardy, his usual calm and collected demeanor vanishes. Why would that happen if he has his own plans? It raises the question, are his plans interwoven with Xehanort's, or is it all possibly an act? Whether or not Xigbar still has an agenda of his own all these years later, it can be argued, but I think we are in for something special regarding his character in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Laxine, one of the original Organization 13's traitors. She was the 12th member of the group, and alongside Marluxia, they planned to overthrow the Organization 13 and claim Kingdom Hearts for their own intentions. Both Laxine and Marluxia were sent on a mission to Castle Oblivion to proceed ahead with experiments and memories using Naminé. Castle Oblivion would be used as the traitors' base of operation. However, Xemnas was aware of who the traitors were even before the Castle Oblivion mission, as stated by Xigbar within Day 71's secret report from 358 over 2 days. In fact, Xemnas sent them to Castle Oblivion with the intention of having them eliminated there, which was actually Axel's task. The intention of leading Sora to the castle was to obtain the Keyblade's power that would ultimately assist in Laxine and Marluxia's goal of overthrowing the organization. Alongside that, Marluxia has also longed to claim the Keyblade's power for his very own. With having Naminé held hostage by the traitors and using her as a means to alter Sora's memories, Laxine used this to her advantage, trying to manipulate Sora into thinking that he doesn't care for Naminé. Sora runs into Laxine deeper within Castle Oblivion sometime later. Laxine reveals who Naminé really is and what she's doing to Sora's memories, but directed as if it's completely Naminé's doing. In nature, Laxine is very manipulative, and loves to toy with her opponents, which really showed with how she used Naminé and the Riku replica against Sora. She's certainly one of the more devious members out of the original group, and seems to be quite self-centered, showing that she's only interested in things that result in self-gain. Laxine would have to be the most forward-speaking of the group, not afraid to speak her mind with no manners following. Laxine was defeated by Sora during the second encounter. Her death was definitely an interesting scene, showing us that although Laxine can be extremely ill-mannered, rude, and perhaps overconfident, in death she seemed almost afraid. She was fully aware of what was happening, and we definitely saw a side of Laxine you don't see all too often, her being afraid. Just like the others chosen, Laxine was resurrected as a human, and has since become a Xehanort vessel. Laxine's case is a bit different though. Alongside Malusha, she tried to overthrow the organization, so why exactly would Xehanort want her as a vessel, and why does he trust her? Perhaps both Malusha and Laxine were chosen because of the sole purpose of once trying to betray the group. This could be a motive that Xehanort actually likes about these two. There could also be a certain arrangement behind both Malusha and Laxine deciding to become vessels, as Malusha wanted to seek the power of the Keyblade, and Laxine had plans of her own. What these two seek might have been promised by Xehanort. In Kingdom Hearts 3, Laxine's base of operations seems to be Arendelle, the world of Frozen. Her intentions there seem to do with collecting a new 7 hearts of pure light from the princesses of different worlds. We've seen a few different cutscenes showing us that she's in the midst of trying to use Elsa as a heart of light, but at the same time also counting on her heart falling into darkness, something that Sora is desperate to stop.
Lee's former best friend and one of the more quote-unquote loyal members of the organization, Saïx. On the outside, it would seem that Saïx was a loyal member of the organization, but truth being, he only did what he did in the past following under Xemnas' rule and orders was just so that he and Axel could get their hearts back together, as confirmed through reports. Saïx goes for the most convenient route he can take to get what he wants and will use anyone and anything to accomplish his goals. Of course, him following Xemnas backfired in the end, as well as adding fuel to the fire with Axel's friendship with Roxas and Xion. The more close Axel became with Roxas and Xion, the more Saïx felt hurt and or jealous due to the fact that Axel had abandoned him in their plan to get their hearts back together. I assume the only reason Saïx is with the new organization in Kingdom Hearts 3 is to either get back at Lee because he believes he betrayed their friendship, or for the fact that Saïx really has nothing else to really live for and couldn't care less about what he does anymore. Heck, it could be both of those reasons, and also very awesome reasons in my mind to why he deflected to the evil side, since he may feel he has no one else left in his life. Now, I'm going to go to the side here, and I'm going to be talking about Terranort as he is a special case. I don't want to assume he is one of the 13 Seekers of Darkness because, truth be told, we have no idea where he is. No matter what interview we find or articles we read, it seems that the whereabouts of Terranort is a deliberate mystery according to Nomura. If I had to tell you what I think his role would be, there is one possibility and then there's one idea I have. The possibility is that he could be a Seeker of Darkness, he just hasn't shown himself yet for whatever reason. Or he appears at some point in the game, and we have our chance to rescue him because remember, even though Terra and Xehanort are having a property dispute inside of Terra's body, there is also the talk of Ericus playing a role in this as well, and I want to believe the factor of Ericus playing some type of role in this is why we haven't seen Terranort. Perhaps Xehanort can't risk having Terranort as one of the Darknesses due to the fact that he can't have complete control over it, since Terra and possibly even Ericus are fighting back. This is just me throwing ideas out there, but knowing Nomura, it could be literally anything. What do you guys think about this? Where do you believe Terranort is and what his potential role could be? Maybe I'm just overthinking, but why wouldn't the one who really was the first vessel not be present until Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out and not any time before it? Very weird if you ask me. We have now reached the end of the video. Jared and I both want to thank you guys so much for watching the video, and thank you even more if you watched both of our videos. It was so much fun discussing this with Jared that we figured we would also bring it to you guys and see what you guys think. Of course, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, be sure to leave them either here or on Jared's video, which again will be linked in the description and most likely be played during my outro. and we will get to you guys as soon as humanly possible. If you guys enjoyed, please do leave a like, and if you are new, hit that subscribe button, as I very much appreciate it. It's been Limit and Jared, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.